What's up, everyone? I'm CL Connolly, and today I just kind of wanted to talk about November. So, November is NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month. So, the goal, I guess, is to write a 50,000 word novel in a single month. I have never participated in NaNoWriMo. I have known it is there since 96, I think. I don't know. I've known it's there forever. I have no idea when I found out about it. I'm not even kidding. I have no idea when I found out about it, but I knew that it existed. And I need to stop crunching up I'm sorry. I'm getting occupied by the wrinkles in my forehead. That's only because recently I was thinking about Botox, but I don't want to do Botox. I'm starting to look old. Anyway. Okay. Squirrel. Anyway, NaNoWriMo. So I've known about it for a while. I just have never participated. Generally because it always seemed like as soon as I got serious about actually wanting to get my books published and feeling like, you know what, I'm going to do this myself because, these publishing companies are kind of trash and I'm tired of getting, rejection letters. I have 180 of them. And the very last rejection letter I got was actually from an agent who sent me a letter that said, because I wasn't already published and I didn't already have a name for myself, no one was going to publish me. And it was going to be virtually impossible to get published. So if you can imagine being, I spent my entire 20s querying for Forbidden Affair, literally querying Forbidden Affair through my entire 20s. And then just after I turned 30, I get a notice stating, hey, by the way, you're not going to get published. You don't have a name. Like, nobody knows who you are. And I was like, seriously? So then I started looking into self-publishers. That's where I found Lightning Source. And it was Create Space at the time too, which is now KDP. But Create Space I was never going to do due to the fact that it was from Amazon. And back then they required you to have a 5-year contract with just Amazon and you were locked in. You couldn't sell it anywhere else. You couldn't sell it in person. You couldn't sell it to, you couldn't get it to booksellers or this or that, blah, blah, blah. It was strictly Amazon. And I was like, yeah, screw you, Jeff Bezos, I don't know. So I did not go with Create Space. I went with Lightning Source. So that is how that worked. But anyway, so that was in 2012. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to start trying to participate in this NaNoWriMo. And the closer it got to November, the more freaked out I got and was like, there's no way I can write 50,000 words in a month. No, there's no way I can do that. And I freaked out and was like, nope, forget it. And then I refused to write the entire month of November. Yup. Every single time when I thought about it, I would literally get so freaked out, I would refuse to write all of November. And then when I was really in my full-time book writing in 2019, every time November came around, it seemed like I was editing. I was editing a book. I'm no longer writing, and I'm not going to put away this book from editing because I've already put it away before. So why would I do that now? And no, I'm editing this book. I'll edit this book for November, forget Nano, whatever. And 2019, 2020, 2021, every time it came up, I was editing a book. 2022, I was just like, I don't give a shit what the hell I'm doing. This year, yes, it's NaNoWriMo. I am writing a book. I'm just not participating because the book I'm writing is a little different than the other novels, so it's not going to have 50,000 words in it. It's really not. It's something that I have been working on for a while, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a while. Let me put it that way. I've wanted to be able to do this for a while. So it is something that I've been working on. It is not going to be 50,000 words in any way. It may be hold on, because I'm a writer, not a mathematician. Let me see. I'm going to do that. And it will probably be about 25,000 words, somewhere in there. So it's really not, I mean, and it's not even that big a deal. Like, trying to pump out 50,000 words in a month is stressful already as it is. People who can sit there and like, oh, I do this. I did Camp Nano in April and in July. So Camp Nano was so easy. So now I do NaNoWriMo in November. It's like, I'm sorry, it stresses me out. I don't want to deal with it. No, thank you. I'm good. Okay. So I do not do NaNoWriMo. It stresses me out. I have no problem getting on the live streams and stuff like that and being like, live stream, great, let's write, let's go. You got people who are all like, oh, I wrote 1,200 words in this 25-minute sprint. And it's like, good for you. I wrote 260. And you know why I wrote 260? Because I'm sitting here with a window next to me, and every time the tree blows, I keep going, ooh, tree. You wouldn't believe how many times I've had to close the blinds in here because I can focus. So no, I'm not going to sit here and stress myself out that I need to write 50,000 words, because my first drafts are never anywhere near close to that. I have a first draft that was 12,000 words. I have a first draft that was 14,000 words. I have a first draft that was 22,000 words. I also have a video, if you'll go back and watch that one, I'll try to remember to link it, that it was worry about your story, not your word count. Like, literally, there's no reason to stress about your word count, because all you're going to do is, if you don't match up to the word count that you need every day to hit that 50,000, then you're going to freak out when you come back to it the next day and realize that now you got to write even more words because you have to catch up to the word count that you didn't have before. And you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, so now, I'm sorry, my son just texted me. Okay. Anyway, so you shouldn't have to worry about your word count, because what you're doing is you're stressing yourself out that it's not going to be good. Your first draft, I always call my first draft my shit draft, because it is legit. I just wrote a book last month, right? And I had a hard time writing the last 3 chapters because I was bored. Like, I love the story. I love the idea. It was great, but where it was going was so boring. And I was like, this is not working out the way that I want it to. So when I went back through and kind of read a little bit, I was like, bing, and I figured out a way to fix it. So there you go. Am I going to touch it now? No, I'm not, because it is 3 books away, which means if this one is 2025, that one's 2026. So the one that I just finished is 2027. I don't have to worry about it till 2027 when it gets published. There you go. So why would I even deal with it? And this is the perfect thing, the perfect reason why I believe in my method that I'm going through right now, because I have written out the idea. It is out there. It is gone. Boom. On paper, right? So it's out there. Here's the thing. I have always read books that basically say, you know, you write your book and then you put it away. Don't look at it for a while, because when you go back to it, then you're going to be like, oh, I know how to make this better. And there's another reason why I won't reread some of my books, because I feel like I would go, oh my God, I know how to make this so much better. So, yeah. My nose is draining. I'm sorry. I apologize for the coughing. It's gross. It's disgusting, and I don't like it. Hopefully it'll stop. Anyway, so I write the book, I put it away. I'll eventually go back to it, and then I'll know the perfect way to make it better. The perfect way to make it better, right? Especially when I can't come up with the ending. Like Citizen's Assassin. I literally have a block of red letters that I basically wrote notes at the very end and said, this is how it ends. Because I was like, I'm not really sure how to end this off. And I know that once I go back into it to edit, it's going to come to me and it's going to be whoosh, go right through, right? And then when I go to edit it, who cares that it was only, let me see. I will actually look it up. Citizen's Assassin. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to open it. Citizen's Assassin is 18,000 words. Okay? 18,000 words. Citizen's Assassin. That's it. So there you go. Citizen's Assassin is 18,000 words. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to edit it. And then after I get through my edits, it'll probably be somewhere about 35,000, 40,000, somewhere around there. So, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to need to be expanded. There's a lot of information that's going to need to be expanded in there. And I know it. That's just how it works. So, anyway, it doesn't bother me. That's my shit draft. That's basically getting the story out of here and onto paper. I didn't stress about it. I wrote a chapter a day. Sometimes the chapter took me an hour. Sometimes the chapter took me 3 hours. I didn't stress my whole day away by sitting there attempting to write the entire book. I got out my notebook at the end of the chapter. I said, okay, so this chapter, this is where it ended. The next chapter, I think it could go this way. Put it down, and I did my housework, played with my dogs, hung out outside, did whatever the hell I wanted to, because that's what I can do. And I have done this with all of the books that I have written this year. You know, I go through and I deal with 1 chapter a day. That's it. I don't sit down and like force myself to get through it because I have a ton of other books to write. So for Nano, I'm not participating. And the stress of having to make sure that I write 50,000 words literally would give me the anxiety shits. And I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that one. So it's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm not going to stress out about something that I can relaxingly do throughout my day. I mean, I'm still organizing my office. I mean, for crying out loud, I still have a box right here that I've been attempting to, empty. So I can still get those boxes from the other room emptied out. And at some point, maybe I'll be in here a little bit longer than that. I know that there was one day I sat here for 5 hours trying to write a chapter, and it was this last book. So, okay. But the reason for that was the intricacy of the details that I was going into, because I really needed this scene to pop. So yeah, it took me like 5 hours to get through that chapter. But it was also a rough one because, you have to think about it this way. When you've got torture and stuff like that, sometimes the torture is a little hard to get through. I'm not a complete psychopath. I mean, I am a psychopath to my characters, but I'm not a total psychopath. So I do have empathy for some of my characters, maybe not for real people, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's beside the point. I don't participate in Nano. Don't feel like you have to participate in Nano because somebody said, oh my God, you can write an entire novel in a month. It's 50,000 words. It's a 50,000 word novel that literally stresses me out. So no, I don't do Nano. And if you can't handle it either, there's really no reason to, take over your mental health for just to write a book when it could just as easily be, I wrote the first draft and it's 12,000 words. Awesome. And I sat here and I wrote a chapter a day and I did not stress out because seasonal depression is real. And sometimes I can't function during the day because here comes winter and I fucking hate the cold. That's how it is. But being able to know that every single day I actually sat down and I wrote a chapter and I'm, made my way through my schedule. And I was glad that that's exactly what I did because it's easier that way. Yeah. Okay. So it's only 20 chapters. Who cares? When I go to do my editing process, I edit extra. I go through and I edit 2 chapters to see just in case I need to add more. Case in point, I think it was this one when I was doing the editing process, because I think it originally started, this one was only 23 chapters or 22. It was originally 22 chapters. It's 24. and it's thinner, but it doesn't matter. It's because I realized that I could actually add more information, add so much more information to certain scenes that I could actually give it more chapters. So there's no reason to stress about how many words you're writing in a day. I mean, yeah, okay, so yes, I write down my word counts each day. I do. And the only reason why I write down those word counts is because it shows me that I was productive that day. Here, you were productive. Look what you did. Cool. I was productive. That's just how that works. That's why I track my word counts. Other than that, I don't track my word counts. Or like, I'm not worried about my words. Let me put it that way. I track my word counts, but I'm not worried about my words. So that's just how that works. But anyway, yeah. I don't do NaNoWriMo. I will probably never participate in NaNoWriMo because I don't agree with the stress-inducing, deadline of having to get out 50,000 words. And then not only that, but I'm sorry, but I find Preptober to be a waste of time. Really? You took your entire month of October to do an extensive outline for a book that you're planning on writing 50,000 words in November. Okay, so you've got Preptober and then you've got NaNoWriMo. I think that Preptober is a complete waste of time because in October I wrote a whole book. You know what? Hold on. I'll even tell you. And that book is 15,000 words. So there you go. I wrote a book during Preptober. While everyone else was prepping for NaNoWriMo, I wrote a book, 15,000 words. It's going to be more than that when it's done. Yes, it will be. But I'm just saying, I think I think Preptober is a waste of time. That is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. Other people who prefer, Preptober and stuff like that, and they love participating in NaNoWriMo, and more power to you. I could not do it. It is literally just my opinion that I cannot do Preptober, NaNoWriMo. I can't do it. I feel like Preptober is a waste of time. I feel like NaNoWriMo is a stress-inducing, anxiety-riddled month that I'm just not going to participate in. I would prefer not to induce a panic attack, specifically because I didn't hit my word count for the day. And I don't want to be up until midnight attempting to finish writing because I have to get these words down. And what if it's just, words like heretofore and as there were to, if, but, me, who, yes, just because I'm trying to get word counts. That's literally how I see a lot of these authors where they're like, I'm getting my word counts. But they've been writing since 4 a.m. and it's now 11:52 and they're trying to squeak by their last few words before midnight. And that's what's coming out. Heretofore, as but if you so, sir. Literally. No, I'm not doing it. So anyway, the book that I'm writing now, I will have finished before Thanksgiving. So then I can take the entire week of Thanksgiving off. And then right after that, I have another book that I will be writing. And that one will be finished right before Christmas. Yep. It'll be done right before Christmas. And then once that one is done, I can take the week of Christmas and the week of New Year's off because that Saturday from the week of New Year's, I will be getting back Mutiny of Disciples from my beta readers to start doing those edits. And that is how I have my relaxing schedule. Plus, not only that, but I have a week. I know that there is a week in between or like a few days or something somewhere in there. I have like a few days where all I'm doing is grabbing the next few books and writing out the full plot. That's all it is. I'm just going to write out the full plot. And because I can write out the entire plot and say, okay, I want this to happen this chapter, this to happen this chapter, boop, 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 boop. And because I can do that, that's how I can write a chapter a day for 20 days. Because I will write out the entire plot and I will write out each chapter one by one. This is what I want to happen in each one of these chapters. Boom. And then when I go to sit down, I basically have it. Does that outline end up being the one that I follow? Not usually. What ends up happening is I end up writing chapter 1 and the characters take over. And then what I wanted to happen in chapter 2 is now going to happen in chapter 10. So I don't know. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. It's my opinion. I will. Yeah. Nope. I won't do it. I will not do NaNoWriMo. It is too stress inducing and I feel like Preptober is a waste of time. But if that's something that you want to do, if it's something fun that you have, that's great. That's something for you. For me personally, I can't do it. I can't do it at all. But anyway, that's all I have. I feel like I was kind of a dick in this. But whatever. Anyway, okay. Make sure you subscribe. I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday. It's basically just my writing life. So if you want to hang out and listen to all the crap that I do while I write books, ton of them, up through 2030, make sure you're subscribed and I will see y'all Monday. Okay, bye.